Welcome back again, GAMEYAAAD family. Thank you so much for joining us for another video. Now, the West Indies women, they would have ended their ICC World Cup qualifying campaign in explosive fashion with a 6-wicket demolition of the Thailand team. But even with that fireworks at the top of the innings, especially by Hayley Matthews, and she was later joined by Chanel Henry, and with a ruthless display by our bowlers, it was heartache for the Caribbean side, who fell agonizingly short of a World Cup berth on net run rate. West Indies needed a win, and not just a win, but a massive win in order to leapfrog Bangladesh to that second and final qualifying spot for that global showpiece in India later on this year. West Indies would have thrown everything into this match at the Gaddafi Stadium. And for much of it, they were on course for a fairy tale finish, but it was not to be so. Stay tuned to GAMEYAAAD TV as we take a microscopic look on this tournament. Things that we would have done well, things that we need to improve upon, and our way forward from here. Stay tuned, as we will be right back. As you would have known, based on my previous video, West Indies would have needed some help from Pakistan, and which they would have gotten the help. Pakistan would have beaten Bangladesh, and so Bangladesh net run rate would have fallen from 1.033, and that's positive 1.033, down to 0.639. So by the end of Thailand innings, West Indies would have known the target that they need to reach at the end of the match. Right? So West Indies would have won the toss and elected to bowl first, and they would have, bowled out Thailand for 166 from 46.1 over. Now, at one point, West Indies had, Thailand for 85 for 6. And I think we should have, gone in for the kill at that time. We would have allowed Thailand to make too, much runs, but that's a game of cricket. Thailand would have, got to that total of 166 because of a defiant innings played by Thangkam. She would have made 66 from 98 deliveries. Now, the pick of the West Indies bowlers were Hafi Fletcher would have taken 4 for 20 from her 10 overs. Alia Alain, 3 for 41 from her 10 overs. She was superb in this tournament. And Ashmini Munisar would have taken 2 for 15 from 4.1 over. Now, West Indies, in their reply, they would have made 168 for 4 in 10.5 overs. When it would have been time for West Indies to bat, they needed to make that 167 in 10.1 over. Right, so that was the first scenario. Now, the second scenario would have been if West Indies, by the time they reached 10.5 overs, if they could have tied the score by that time, they could have hit a 6 by the 11th over, because the next ball would be the 11th over, right? If they hit a 6 on that last ball, they would have, qualified as well. But I will get to that as we progress in this video. West Indies, in their reply, they would have got to the total. They would have made 168 for 4 from 10.5 overs. Hayley Matthews made 70 from 29 deliveries. Chanel Henry would have made 48 from 17 deliveries. Kiana Joseph 26 from 12 deliveries. And the pick of the Thailand bowlers include Panita Maya 1 for 40 from 2.5 overs. And the Pacha Putta Wang 1 for 42 from 3 overs. Anida took the round 1 for 51 from 3 overs. As I said before, West Indies would have won the match by 6 wickets with 235 balls to spare. I mean, personally, even though we are a bit disappointed here in the West Indies, having not qualified for the ICC World Cup, but we cannot be more prouder for the fight, the spirit, the determination, the dedication, the resilience that those girls would have displayed yesterday when it matters the most. I mean, there is nothing we can say or complain about when we would have seen the ladies left everything on the pitch yesterday. Really, really proud moment, even though we are a bit disappointed. But as you know, on GAMEYAAAD TV, we have to take a microscopic look. The tournament has ended and we need to look back on things that we would have done well, things that we need to improve upon and our way going forward. So one of the first things that I would have seen that is something that we would have done well is that we would have shown a lot of bravery, courage, and we had a never say die attitude on the field of play. And we have to commend the ladies for that. It is something that we can take forward, with us. And to be honest with you, the fact that we would have missed the World Cup by 0.013 points, it just shows that we have the potential here in the West Indies to make global events, right? But we just need to be a little bit more consistent. The second thing we would have done well at that tournament is that, Hayley Matthews and Aliyah Lane, they were excellent. They were magnificent with ball in hand. In fact, Hayley Matthews, she would have been the leading wicket taker at the end of the tournament with 13 wickets. And Aliyah Lane in third position with 12 wickets. Hayley Matthews, she would have played all 5 matches and she would have bowled 46.1 overs. She would have conceded 206 runs, taking 13 wickets, as I said before, with her best performance of 4 for 24, right, with an economy of 4.46 at an average of 15.84. That was Hayley's performance in the tournament with ball in hand, right? As it relates to Aliyah Lane, I think Aliyah Lane bowled superbly well in this tournament. She would have taken some really key wickets for us in this tournament, and she was just in really good rhythm, when she would have got the ball, to bowl for us. And she would have played all 5 matches. She bowled a total of 30 overs, conceded 164 runs, and I would have said she would have taken 12 wickets with best figures of 4 for 39 at an economy of 5.46 at an average of 13.66. Really, really good performance there from Aliyah Lane. She was really, really good in this tournament, in my estimation. Now, the third thing that we would have done well, Hayley Matthews was the 4th highest run scorer in the tournament. Right, as I said earlier, she would have played all 5 matches. She would have batted all 5 innings, and she would have amassed 240 runs, with highest score in that first game against Scotland, 114 not out, average of 60. She would have made 150 and 1 century in the tournament at a strike rate of 116.5. Right, so that was Hayley Matthews' performance. Right, so she would have led from the front in this tournament. And as a captain, you want to do that every time you go on the field. All right, so and the last thing that I would have seen, we would have made vast improvements in our ground field, right? And something that I would have seen and I needed to highlight that fact as well. And if I would have missed anything that you think the West Indies would have done well, please share your thoughts down in the comment section. All right, in terms of the things that we need improvements on, right? I think we lack consistency in the tournament, right? A couple early losses, in the tournament would have left us in a tough patch heading into this final game, right? I think we should have beaten Scotland, and we would have secured our space in the World Cup scheduled to take place in September of this year, right? So we lack consistency in our bowling, in our batting. As I said, only Haley Matthews really would have been very consistent with the bat, right? Our batters, they just played in patches, and we cannot, at a tournament like this, we have to be consistent with the way we bowl, the way we bat, the way we field, all facets of the game. We have to be consistent in those areas. Another area of improvement, we would have dropped too many catches, and we know the phrase catches win matches, right? We cannot be dropping so many catches, right? All right, so the next point that we want to highlight, and this may be, and to be honest with you, this third point I want to make, I think one of the things that would have been our downfall yesterday in that match, when you look back on the film, right? I think it was poor communication, and I would have held the leadership of the team accountable, right? When you talk to a soldier, right, in an intense battle, having machine gun in those intense battles are very important. Having help from the here in helicopter or whatever, chopper or whatever you call it, they needed that, right? They needed persons on the ground. They needed persons especially to take the higher ground when you are in these type of battles. But when you talk to a soldier, one of the most important things when you are in an intense battle, right, is clear communication. That is paramount. And I think poor communication yesterday would have cost us that game. When you look back on the film and watch that reaction from Stephanie Taylor, and I think I hold Stephanie Taylor accountable to an extent as well. As an experienced batter, if you are unclear about something, right, the critical nature of the game at that point. If you are not clear in your mind what is needed to be done, you need to ask for help. You could ask for something from the dressing room and ask somebody to come out and to tell you the nature of the game, right? With that facial expression from Stephanie Taylor, it suggests to me that she was not clear as it relates to what was needed at that point in the game. And I hold the leadership of the team accountable. We have to have clear and concise and direct communication at those critical points in the game, right? Stephanie Taylor, to me, in my estimation, seemed to be unaware of the equation, and she smashed that maximum. Initially, she thought she would have won the game and would have qualified, and then you would have seen when she got word from the dugout, you see how distraught she was. And in these critical moments of the game, we need to have clear, direct communication coming out from the dugout. And I think that poor communication would have cost us the game, because we needed a 4 and then a 6. And you can argue that even if she would have got the message, she may not have hit the 4, and that's fine. But what I'm saying to you is that in these moments, we need to have clear and direct communication, and I would have held the leadership of the team accountable for the poor communication, and also to Stephanie Taylor to some extent, right? As a senior batter, you need clear communication, and you should have asked for that from the dugout before you face that 5th delivery, right? Another thing, you might say that hindsight is 20/20 vision, right? But if I were in that situation yesterday, and all due respect to Kiana Joseph, we would have seen how devastating she can be at the top of the innings, right? And all due respect to her, But in a situation like this, I would not have opened with Kiana Joseph, right? Chanel Henry is one of the cleanest hitter of the cricket ball in the West Indies team, and there is no argument, against that. She's just one of the cleanest hitter of the cricket ball. Why we did not open with Chanel Henry yesterday, right? And due to the fact that she is more agile than Kiana Joseph, right? And we would have seen how Kiana Joseph struggled to run some tools yesterday. So I believe that Chanel Henry could have, opened the innings yesterday, and she probably would have, get us over the line with those clean hits. I mean, the argument is he probably might not have made any runs, and that's fine, right? But that's my argument. Try with Chanel Henry at the top. We were in a very critical moment of qualifying, and we needed some critical thinking at that point, and I did not see that from the team coming out of the dugout. I mean, she was elevated to number 3, but I think she should have opened the batting, right? I'm not sure if that was discussed, but I'm just, from my standpoint, having not all the information, I think that, Chanel Henry should have been the one, to open the batting. Do not want to, kill you with information or information overload, so I will stop there for now. I think those are the, the more critical points that I needed to make. As I would have said to you from my previous video, I would have expected something spectacular from this group of ladies, and they did not disappoint us. They really left everything out there on the pitch, right? And we are really proud of them for that. And we would have seen that this group has, a lot of potential. We have some younger players coming, through the ranks. We have Janella Glasgow, we have, Zayda James. Those are 2 really good, young players that we are looking at. So how do we, go from here? The ladies would have been, I'm sure they are distraught at this moment, flying back, from Pakistan. It's gonna be a really long flight, right? But how do we move from here as a region? I believe that each association, need to grow the women's cricket in the region. More investments are needed in the women's game, right? Right across the region, right? We need more investment, especially at the grassroots level. We need, more to be done to attract, the younger females to the game. And CWI need to look on the structure of the, the women's game right across the region, and see how best we can improve the structure. And we need more women's cricket to be played in the region, right? We need, cricket at all levels to be played in terms of, women's cricket. Right? So those are 2 of my suggestions. We need, more investment into the women's cricket, and we need all associations to, find ways of growing women's cricket. And also we need to look on the structure, and we need to have more women's cricket playing in the region, from the grassroots level from right up to the sea. This is where I will stop for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a bit lengthy, but I hope that the information shared would have been, beneficial to you. Thanks a lot for joining us. We will see you in the next video. Peace and blessings, everybody. Have a great day.
Belo, 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 belo.